need to see a little bit more. What is the material in the textbook that's related to that example? I need to see that. So click on the multimedia e-text, and you can see. Now what it's going to do is to take you to section 1.1, because that's the one that I clicked on first. So here's the first page. This is page 60 of your textbook material. And you work your way through the textbook, either using the arrows on the menu bar, or you can see, it may not be that visible, but there's some arrows on the edge of the screen. And if you click these, it takes you from one page to the next. So you can read the ebook to simulate reading the hard copy, and then you'll notice where example 1 is. Now, there are two ways that you can get audio for example 1. If you'd like to see a person talking to you, click the icon, the first one on the right, and here's Judith again, and she's going to say the same thing that she did before when we clicked example 1.
Represents the first.
Now, if you don't want to see Judith, click the next icon. And this is a little different video, but this is more
Plotting
like
ordered pairs. Let's see how the plots of given points, or ordered pairs, on the rectangular coordinate system.
I noticed that this one is a little different.
Uniquely associated.
This is like playing a DVD at home where you advance, you reverse, all those kind of things. This is a little different setup, and it depends on which one you want. Do you want the Judith to talk you through example 1, or do you want the topic, and you advance through a little video explaining how you plot points? Now, some of you may be saying, oh, I don't need to do any of that. Well, that's true. If you don't know how to plot some points, you're probably further back than you thought you were. But nevertheless, it will give you the option. If you need a refresher on any of these topics in the first section, there's your opportunity to get it. Now, there will be things in this first section. Don't just rule out the section altogether. It goes through plotting points, drawing graphs of linear equations, quadratic functions, but then we start seeing some things that you may not be that familiar with. Finding the distance between 2 points in the xy plane, finding the midpoint between two, and then it starts the segment where you're going to be looking at the circle. How do you find the equation of a circle, given information about the circle? How do you find the center and radius if you have the equation of the circle? How do you graph a circle? Now you'll notice next to every one of the examples it's the same two icons. If you want to listen to Judith or one of the authors talk you through the example, click that one that looks like a camcorder. If you want a general description of the topic involved in that example, click the other one. And then you would just work your way through by clicking play, and it works your way through that topic of finding the equation of a circle. Given various information. Start you out, it will give you the coordinates of the center and the radius and say, how do we find the equation of the circle? So this is how you would work your way through the material to simulate coming to class. I wouldn't be using the e-text if I was instructing you on the material in section 1.1. I'd be using the whiteboard. So this, as you can see, is a fairly sophisticated setup, and it's flexible in the sense that it allows you to work your way through it in different ways. If you're at work and you've got a lunch break and you want to do some work, then it may be that it's best for you to use a hard copy version. You may not be able to do this at work on the workstation you're given at work. Remember at the beginning, you've got to register. Now you only register once, but you have to download those plugins in order for it to be able to work. Now the background is a plugin that you don't see. It's sold to Adobe product. but there's a Math Excel player that you need access to, and that's downloaded as well, so that this stuff will work on your computer. If you have a laptop, do it on your laptop. Just download the plugin, go to README first, click on the browser check and download the plugin, and then if you've got a desktop, do it again. So you can do it on as many computers as you want. Now if your computer crashes, what happens? Well, we cannot say, let's hold the course until you get a new computer or you get your computer repaired. The semester is going to go on, so you've got to have a backup plan. The backup plan could be come to the campus and use the campus facilities. In the next room on the right after the testing room, we have 2 computers in that lab. And the lab manager will tell you which computers they are. You can sign on there. You're not going to have to download the plugins or anything, but you can sign on there. You can go to the library. You can go to the Innovations Lab in this building on the other side of the building. So we have these in various places. On Saturday morning, this hallway is open. There's classes that run on Saturdays, so till 1 o'clock. So you can come on Saturday mornings and you'll be able to get access. 2 computers here. If somebody's already using those, the science building over on your right, it's open on Saturday mornings as well. There are 4 computers in there, and you will be able to access the course materials in there as well. So have a backup plan. Kind of keep on top of it. The main reason students don't complete is procrastination. They don't do the stuff. Now, whether you're aware or not, there's a policy that the Board of Trustees for the college passed that affects online instruction. Any instruction online, whether it's web enhanced or truly online as your class is, there's a requirement. The requirement is you must log in at least twice a week. If that's not possible for you, contact your instructor and kind of explain, tell him that you have to work ahead of the schedule to be able to take a week off for work or family reasons. But try to keep logging in. You must keep doing this material, otherwise you're going to end up towards the end of the semester and you'll be saying to the instructor, oh yeah, I plan to get it all done. I'm going to do 4 chapters next weekend. It never happens. And students every semester say the same thing. I tell them, it's not going to happen. You can try it, but how is it humanly possible? The same people have a family, they have a spouse, they have a job. It's not going to work. The only way to do this is to do it a little bit at a time. So during the next week, you're going to have to get on and decide how you're going to work through this course material. Your syllabus will give you an idea of how to pace yourself through the class, but it is only set up. There's going to be due dates to try to get you to the point where you'll see there's deadlines to meet. But you can work faster than that if you want to get ahead. But certainly there's going to be material you have to do this week. If it's only possible for you to work on weekends, then try to get something done this weekend and get ahead. Now, once you've done the learning of the material, either you're going to use your textbook, the e-textbook, or the video presentation. Once you've done that, you'll be ready to do the homework. So you click on the next folder in the menu, the one on homework. Now, you're going to be given access to all the homework. You see that the first column, these are due dates. Now, you need to check your due date. This was a sample class. Your due date might now be September 21st. You need to be looking at what it is. And it reminds you that these assignments, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, and 4, they're all due. 1-5, they're all due by September 21. Now, the cutoff time is 11:59 Central Time, so that's kind of like midnight. When you want to do a homework, just click on the link, the blue link. And what you will see is homework numbers. It'll say questions 1 through N. There's going to be varying numbers depending on the section you cover. Now, when you do homework in a face-to-face class, you do them in whatever order you want. The same will be true here. If you studied the whole section, as I'm recommending before you start the homework, then you can do them in any order you want. So if you want, you could try question 6. Click on it. Now the screen will look the same way that it would have done when you practiced in the e-textbook. But if you've chosen just to do it with a hard copy and then try the questions in the exercise set in your book, check them with the answer keys at the back, then this might be the first time you've seen it. And notice in the main part of the screen you've got your questions. But look on the right of the screen, you've got various things that you can do. What a lot of students do is they print the questions on the homework and take them to work. And then in downtime, they try to do the homework problems. They come back, log back in, and then put in the answer. If you really are stuck, one of the ways that the software allows is that a screen capture of this screen is sent to your instructor, and you get an option to write some notes saying, what is it about this question that you're having trouble with? Rather than saying, I've got questions with 1, 2, 5, and 7. That's not really that helpful. Try to narrow down what your problem is. When you look at this, what's the problem? Well, it may be that you didn't actually study this, so you may need to go back and have a look at that section. Now, in order to make sure you're looking at the right section, you'll see the icon textbook. It will take you back to the textbook section that this came from. But two very useful ones are the first two icons. Rather than going back to the textbook and reading the example again, it will create one for you. Just click, view an example. Now when you look at the example, you'll notice that it's not quite the same problem as it was in the first one. Here we're saying find the equation of a circle with its center at -3, 7, tangent to the y-axis. Well, you can see to change the ordered pair. On the problem you were given, it had -3, 2. So this is very similar. So you will get a step-by-step explanation of how to do this problem, close it out, and then go back and do the problem you were given. Now, if you were doing this, it would be like me describing to you how do you do a similar problem. And then I give you a homework question just like it, say do this at home, and let's make sure you understand what I did. So a lot of what I say out loud is going to be written on the screen. Now, when you've read that part of it, click continue down at the bottom, and it will take you to the next step. Now, sometimes there are different ways of doing a problem. So if Mr. English described how to do this problem, he may have a different technique. This is just the technique the software writer used. So be aware, if this doesn't work for you, Mr. English might have another way for you to do that you'll find easy to work. So give this one a shot first. Don't just dismiss it. Work through it slowly, one step at a time. Try to understand what the author's saying to you. So here we're going to find the radius, and we've shown how to do it with the distance formula. Click the next step, and so on, until you get to the end of the problem. Now, rather than just reading the screen, take note. If you came to class and I did this problem on the whiteboard, what are you likely to do? You don't sit there with your arms folded just watching. You're actually taking notes as I'm writing, so are you. Whatever I'm writing on the whiteboard, you put in your notebook. Use the same process here. Whatever you see, write the main parts in your notebook. Because when you close it out, you say, oh God, what did it say again? And then you'd have to go back to view an example and go through it again.